Hello, this is Beverly, living fabulously functional, and wanting to share with you my wonderful recipe for lemon basil tea. I posted a picture of it on my Facebook page, and it's a tea that I learned about when about a year and a half ago I had some kidney stones. And so I was, experiencing pain in the lower portion of my kidney where that stone was trying to go. And they had given me medication to help to pass the stone. I said, well, I've passed the stone before. I don't want to pass another one. So I began to Google and look up some natural remedies for kidney stones. And I wound up learning about basil lemon tea. So when I say basil lemon tea, I'm talking about fresh basil. And this fresh basil is from my grandson's garden, his little garden box, fresh basil, and actual lemon zest. And I always, when I juice my lemons, I always freeze the lemon caps, and I keep them for zesting because they are perfect for zesting when they are frozen. So I've got my frozen lemon caps, and that's what you need. You need the zest. The zest is 10 times better for you in a lemon than the actual juice itself. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon of lemon zest, a tablespoon of fresh chopped basil, and about maybe 2 to 3 cups of hot water. And the first thing we have to do is we have to bring that water to a boil. So I keep a gallon of distilled water in my kitchen for cooking or for making tea and whatnot. We don't buy bottled water like we used to because we found that it's more cost effective if you just buy gallons of water. So here I got 2 cups of distilled water, and I'm going to turn that on so it can begin to come to a boil. And while that's coming to a boil, what I typically do, now you can just do it by itself with the basil and the lemon. You don't have to add anything to it. But I typically add some type of herbal tea bag. I'll use green tea, but I don't use green tea in the evening because green tea, it does have caffeine in it and it will keep you awake. So green teas I typically drink in the morning, but herbal teas I drink in the evening so that they can relax me and not keep me awake. So I have this one tea. I'm pulling out the wrong one. The one I want to use, I shove them all in one box when I'm getting low on all of them. Okay, so this is Soothing Turmeric. This is Soothing Turmeric by Lipton. It's a turmeric herbal tea with turmeric, ginger, and orange in it. It is, by itself, it's delicious. But I like to use for my base some type of tea. So while my water is boiling, I'll take my tea bag and I'll go ahead and place it. I'll just pull the tags off. And I'll place that tea bag in the hot water while it's boiling. So with that, I'm going to take a few of these beautiful leaves from my grandson's basil plant in his garden box. I'm going to take a few off. And as you see, I just set it in like 1/4 of an inch of water. I set the what I've taken off and I set it in here. And they stay bright and pretty for a long time. But I'll be done using them before you know it. So I'm going to take some of the broader leaves off. And I have already rinsed these leaves off. And I wish you could smell this basil. And I've let my grandson, I said, Jackson, smell your basil. He said, oh, Grandmama. And so he was pretty fascinated. He thought I was going to make the tea there at his house, but I had to get home. So I took pretty much a handful of basil. And I'm going to chop it up with, I'll just use this knife right here. I'm going to chop it up real fine as I can. And while we're waiting for that to come to a boil. So I made this tea in order to cure my kidney stones. and in order for them to be dissolved. And you can Google basil lemon tea and what it does as far as your renal health, your kidney health, and how it dissolves stones and helps with if you frequent kidney infections, how it cleans up your kidneys and keeps your renal health intact. Now I'm going to tell you what, the medicine that they gave me, I never took it. I just kept drinking tea. And before you know it, I don't know what happened to the stone. It may have passed and I didn't know it, or it may have actually dissolved. But before I take medicine nowadays, I look for home remedies first before I make that trip to the doctor. And this was one of those home remedies that actually worked for me. Okay, so I have chopped up that beautiful green basil. That's about 2 tablespoons of basil. And now I'm going to do about a tablespoon of lemon zest. And you see how my little caps, they are frozen. I just freeze them. After I juice my lemons, I keep the caps and I put them in the freezer because they zest so much easier when they are frozen. So here I go. I'm going to need about a tablespoon or more of lemon zest. And look at that. My water is boiling. This is going to be the best tea ever. I'll drink half of it and I'll save some of it for Dr. Warder because he likes to sip on this tea in the evening before he goes to bed. The aroma is serious. Now I have to tell you, I'll tell you something. I could take this lemon zest and this chopped basil, get me some apple cider vinegar, some olive oil, a little bit of black pepper, and a pinch of sea salt, and make a wonderful dressing to go over salad. Or even, not just go over salad, but you can put that same dressing over a piece of fish or a piece of chicken breast and bake it in the oven. And it will be heavenly. Okay, so now my water is boiling. So after it comes to a boil, what you do, and you can see the turmeric in the tea there. So what you do is you turn your fire off, and then you take your lemon zest, which I don't think you can see because of the lighting I have. I'm going to have to move that back just a little bit. Okay, so now you can see the lemon zest. Sort of. For a minute there you could. So the lemon zest and the basil, and I'm going to put it in here. Just like that. Put all that in there. The lemon zest wants to stick to me. You put that in there, put the lid on it, and you let it steep for 3 minutes. Okay, so I've got my timer on for the 3 minutes. Put my frozen lemons back in the freezer. So you let it steep for 3 minutes. Shake all that lemon zest off of there. And then after it has steeped for a set amount of time, then you strain the tea bag and all of the ingredients through this strainer, my little strainer, into your teacup, and you just enjoy. Now, some of you may want to add a little bit of sweetness to it, but I don't. It tastes it has a natural light sweetness to it. But Dr. Woodard, sometimes he wants that little bit of sweetness, a little extra sweetness. So I will give him maybe like a tablespoon of honey in his cup. But for now, we got a minute and 25 seconds. So for now, I'm just going to drink it just like it is. It's heavenly. It smells heavenly. It tastes heavenly. And if you're having kidney problems, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, pyelophonitis, which is the medical term for kidney infection, then this tea will do the trick. I have to Google it, and I may even tag the website where I found out this tea to be able to help you if you have kidney problems. You have to be careful not to drink too much of it. So we don't drink it all the time, but every now and then a nice cup of lemon basil tea is just heavenly, and gives you sweet rest, and at the same time is supporting your renal health and your kidney health. Okay, so I got 10 more seconds here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so it's time to strain. Oh, wow. Now this is good aromatherapy too. Breathe this in through your nose. And just so you know, when I was taking care of my family during the COVID-19, when they all had come down with COVID, and I was asymptomatic, my daughter, who was pregnant with twins, was COVID positive. Her husband, her 2 babies, the ones that she already had, and my husband, my son, and my son's fiance, who had come to visit. So I'm just going to let that ring. We were doing aromatherapy. We were putting lemons as well as orange peels in water on the stove along with Himalayan salt. And we were inhaling that into our noses, because one thing many people I may know, but for the benefit of those who do not know, that heat kills the coronavirus. Where it lives and gets its strength is cool environments. So when we get it into our nasal passages and we don't get it before it gets down into our throat and into our lungs, that's when we see the real trouble and health issues. But that's why during these pandemic times, if you go out to work, if you work, even if you're wearing a mask, when you come back in, this kind of heat aromatherapy is very good. And this right here would be perfect. Basil and lemon, I could inhale this all day. But you inhale it while it's a slow rolling boil, and you just do it for like 15 minutes. And the heat kills the virus that's setting up in your nose, okay, before it gets down into your esophagus and then into your lungs. So I'm going to strain this now, because I could be on here all day talking. You see the beautiful color that's made from the lemon, the turmeric, and the basil. Okay, I'm just going to set this over here. I've strained it all out. Now you may get a few pieces of lemon zest that still linger in here, but it's really okay. This smells heavenly, and it also tastes heavenly. Now I'm just going to take a sip. I'm going to use a spoon because it's very hot and I don't want to burn my mouth. But delicious. You can taste the lemon, the turmeric, and the basil. The turmeric kind of leaves an after sweet taste once you get past the basil and the lemon. But I could sip on this whole cup. Now Dr. Woodard would probably want 1 or 2 tablespoons of honey in his. but this is perfect. And I will finish this. I thank you for joining me and making this video. I hope that it's been helpful to you. And I look forward to making other aromatic teas with you on this channel, which I have named and like for it to be deemed living fabulously functional. Okay, fabulously functional. So Numbers 6, 24, 25, 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord has his face turned towards you, and he's giving you peace right now.